Salmanan. Yo, I'm excited. I'm so excited. I just finished watching the Penuel show. Um, Penuel the Black Pen. Banye bambiza ngo-God Penuel. Thina ekhaya simbiza ngolungelo ke. Thina ekhaya simbiza ngolungelo. Ugogo umbiza ngosifiso. I watched him interview Dr. Umar Ifatunde. I hope I'm saying it right. Dr. Umar Ifatunde. We used to know him as Dr. Umar Johnson. Wow, what an interview! I'm excited. I don't know why, man. I think I'm a proud brother. I'm very proud of Penuel, and I'm a proud black brother as well. Listening to them speak about uh, the life of being a pan Africanist. I think that's what Dr. Umar identifies as, which is a person who believes in all of us blacks working together, building together in that journey. I was hoping that Ulugano spoke about his journey and the Zulu. I'm going to tell Zulu or something like that. But I kid. But it was such an interesting chat. Trying to just understand his side as a black guy born and raised in America, how he views the black man, the black household, um, the way that he references how we want to disassociate with blackness, and because it's not cool to be part of the losing team, and how we need to work harder on making being black cool again. That to me just was a crazy thing. I taught at schools and at certain great schools, if I can call it that. But the black kids didn't want to associate with their blackness. They wanted to do comb overs. They wanted to speak English, so that they can sound cool to their peers. Because having the hair that they had wasn't cool. Speaking vernac in certain spaces wasn't cool. So once we can make our blackness cool, like gimme, that just hit me. It really did hit me. If we can make Zulu things, Xhosa things, Pedi things, Venda things, Tonga things, make them cool, people want to associate with that. People want to associate with the winning team. And that really hit me. Again, Dr. Umar focuses so much on that black community and the black family. Obviously, he's very controversial with how his view is on white people. He says a lot of funny things around not wanting to work with white people, not wanting to save white people. He said this thing that was so profound. I think it was a book called The Revolution Will Not Be Financed. And he hits a very sensitive topic where he speaks about where you get your money from, who finances you, will essentially then control the narrative. And if we look at the South African political spaces, we look at who's funding our political leaders, who's funding our political parties, and if our political parties are being funded by, in this case, white monopoly capital, then it's clear and obvious that the narrative, or their employers as the ANC, who employs the ANC? White monopoly capital. Who employs EFF? White monopoly capital. So again, whoever funds you will ultimately control you, and he says the revolution will not be financed. And that's a great one, because he then holds us accountable, because he says we bitch and moan, but are we funding those political parties as black people? If you want a political party to push a black agenda, are you funding that political party? Are you supporting that political party, not just by getting a free t-shirt, but by your wallet? So if you want the local business Mam Dlamini to get better, are you actually using your money to fucking invest? If you want black platforms to grow, are you subscribing and sharing? Anyway, he also speaks to, just around the leaders, that the onus is on us to pick a good leader. A lot of the time, it's the ANC that presents their next leader, and we just have to accept. In this country, we don't get to vote for the president. We vote for the political party. So then the political party then votes for their leader. So we have no say on who the deputy is, on who the next current president of the country. All we have a say in is, will it be EFF, will it be ANC, will it be DA, etc. And he was saying, we need to be very cognizant of the leaders that we pick, You know, that to me spoke to something that he spoke about earlier, with later, where he then says, Uguti, the best way that we can do going forward is withhold your vote so that the guys that are running these political parties can go, fuck. You know, the winner will win, clap hands. The losers will say, there's 10 million votes that we missed out on. Why? And how can we hit those votes? And then they'll start having to actually fix potholes instead of bitching and moaning about this party and that party. Then they have to start fixing poverty, the bucket system. They have to start fixing all that shit so that we can see what they can do, rather than the bitching and the moaning that they constantly do about each other. Yeah, man, but watch this fucking interview. He speaks about Barack Obama. He speaks about in the movie Black Panther. You know, I work in the media space, and one thing that I know is that media loves to control the narrative. You know, so what you see may not be reality. You know, so again, he speaks about the CIA. He feels, I don't know if this is a conspiracy theory, that the CIA is the one who backs these type of movies and funds these type of movies. Therefore, they sell their narrative through that. With Black Panther 2, where the Mexicans were dominating the people of Wakanda. You know, Guti, what are we trying to say here? You know, is one trying to replace the other? Again, with media propaganda, with Barack Obama, the savior of the black man on earth, how many military coups happened in countries that he went and put a military base there? You know, all these things that the media is not telling us, rather they selling one side of this shit. And just, I'm sitting there and I'm going, because he made reference to the CIA and Nelson Mandela. This is something I already knew, Uguti. It's the CIA, American intelligence, that snitched on Mandela when he was in KZN in Itswidi, just outside of Howick, you know, and ultimately got arrested for that. It wasn't the amazing South African government or the racist government of that time. It wasn't it was the America. America got Mandela arrested. So now you think about all those things, Uguti. That's not what the media is selling us. Therefore, we believe in one thing, but the reality is something else. So it just got me thinking around all of that. If you are watching the interview, again, I sound like a fucking stuck record. You should. At minute 30 and 46 seconds. So if you are in an interracial relationship, that is a bit of a trigger alert, you know. So at around about the 30 and a half minute mark, he speaks about that. He speaks about an inferiority complex. He speaks about having self-hate for a black man to want to get into a relationship with a white woman or anyone outside of black sisters. He then unpacks his reasons and how he thinks about it, the financial implications around that as well. So just give that part a listen to. They refer to them as snow bunnies. We know what snow bunnies are. James, you know what a snow bunny is. But it was a little bit of an eye-opener. I'm not saying what he's saying is true. I'm just saying getting his perspective on certain things is also just refreshing. What does he speak about? He speaks about schools. Shit, I actually touched about this earlier. He speaks about him obviously building a school and wanting to build more schools and hopefully wanting to build schools in South Africa. They clear up the whole Mandarin as a first edition or second additional offering in South Africa, which is true, by the way. If you look at, what is the offering at a lot of schools, they do have a whole list of second additional languages. For those that don't understand, that's your third language. So you have a home language or mother tongue language, which might be English for people that go to Banbani College or Saint Banbani, or you can have it in Zulu if you went to Banbani Senior Secondary. That could be, and then you have your first additional, which we used to call back in the day second language. So that may be Afrikaans, etc., etc. Then you have your third language, which is now called second additional, which could be your French, Mandarin, etc., etc. So he speaks about that. But it's crazy because he had me thinking about what is a black school. You know, people when they hear the word black school, they think of like Dale. That's not a black school. That's a white X Model C, Colonial, Watwati, yet having a lot of black children. We still go to those type of schools and we get taught the way that they want to teach us. We still play their sports rugby. We still do their subjects in their languages. So what is a black school? What does a black school look like? He speaks about Uguti, everything from the teaching to the curriculum to the teachers to the funding has to be purely black. That's how you can go around and say, yes, this is a black school, not what we are being sold out there. Another very sensitive one that he speaks about fatherhood. He speaks about the economic crisis. Uguti, as men, we want to be providers, but if we are not in a good financial space, machita, it's very hard for you to commit and get married. It's very hard for you to want to build a family because economically, financially, grand. I hope brothers can hear me. I hope our sisters can hear me. As a machita, guys, we're not okay financially. The system is rigged against us. You're seeing all these guys doing scams, Boma Forex. No, not bad, man. I think the Forex guys. But we see them. We see them 419, 411, all those shits. We see guys that are cash in transit. Yes, a lot of them do these stupid things of popping bottles, go these clubs, whatever the case may be. But fuck, a lot of them are just trying to get out of this financial hole, guys. Fuck. So anyway, he speaks about that and he speaks about fatherhood. Ulungelo Penuel asks him around having multiple kids with multiple partners, and he's like, he's not against a big household. What he's against is men who can't financially provide for their kids, and more importantly, he speaks about the psychosocial side of it, and that's spending time. A lot of us are so preoccupied about the financial side, we forget what the kids want your time. You want to spend the time. We spoke about this with my brother yesterday. We were recording. The episode is getting dropped on Wednesday. Pen. Around, you need to tend to the garden. You have to tend to the garden. You need to plug into your child. You need to teach your child. And kids need that. As much as they love the steri stampies, as much as they love the this and the that, but they need times with their fathers. That was fucking drop mic moment for me around the fatherhood, because it's something that's very touchy and sensitive to me. They spoke about the LGBTQ plus community and how he feels there's an agenda there to reduce the black families. He unpacks his views around that. And then he speaks about polygyny, which is again the bigger household where when as a guy you marry multiple partners. There's a line that he says, trigger alert, sisters, Uguti. He says, if a lady can't find her own man, she will share yours. Umar, what's it? Ifatunde. Dr. Umar Ifatunde. If a lady can't find a good man, he will share yours. And that's the truth. There's, I guess, only so many good men that, sisters, if I'm hearing you saying there's no longer good men, okay, sharp. If there's a small amount of good men, then just be ready to open that up. Again, understanding what we're trying to build a black family here, we're trying to build black communities. He speaks about the child is not yours, the child belongs to the village. The child belongs to all of us and we all have a hand in. But anyway, guys, I'm super duper uber proud of my brother Penuel. I'm proud of all the guys on the Penuel show, the crew, Otebs, all the guys are so amazing what you guys did. Thanks so much. Shout out to Dr. Umar. Guys, please watch this episode. Let's talk about it. Let's comment about it. Let's comment there. Let's share. If you haven't subscribed, if you're one of those losers that are watching and haven't subscribed on his show, subscribe on his platform. Now maybe if you can like me as well and press subscribe lapo, guys. But anyway, Yantanda, I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. Blessings to you and yours. Sure.